So in this video, we're going to be getting a 4x8 garden box like this one and building another one right here. It's a pretty simple project. It's a lot of fun and it's definitely a good DIY project. Let's run through the parts and then we'll go through the whole process about placing and filling and everything. As far as parts go, it's a very simple build. We have a drill or impact driver, some sort of hand saw or power saw, I prefer hand tools, a square or something to make straight lines, a pencil, some pliers in case you got to remove any staples or anything like that from the wood, some sort of measuring tape, some high quality screws. Stainless steel would be best, but these coated ones are fine. Then you'll need some sort of shovel. There are two big components to building a box like this. One is the dirt, which we'll cover later, and then there's the wood. I'm gonna be using this. This is 5/4 by 6 construction grade or knotty cedar. Cedar is great, which you could leave it outside uncoated. Don't need any chemicals or anything like that, and it'll become a nice gray like this. It starts off looking like this. I'm using 5/4. That's a nice thick board, and it's actually relatively affordable to compared to like a 2x6 or something really beefy. It has these rounded corners, so someone will tell you don't use it, whatever. That's fine. You could use the rounded corners. They don't make any difference. This box has been out in the Northeast for 2 years and no dirt has soaked through. The rounded corners are fine. I think they actually look pretty nice. You need the 8-foot lengths are the 5/4 by 6. You'll need 6 8-foot pieces, right? Then you're also going to need 4-foot pieces for the top and bottom of the box, 8-foot on the side, 4-foot for the top and bottom. And these are 5/4 by 6 by 4. You need 6 of those. Usually they sell these in 8s and 16s. So the 8s you probably don't even have to cut. The 4s you just have to get some 8s and cut them in half. At the corners, this is a cedar 4x4. These are pretty expensive, but you only need, I think I bought one 8-footer and it's really worth it. It's very beautiful stuff. Again, this is all construction grade, so don't try to buy clear or anything fancy. It's just a construction grade cedar. It's still very beautiful and you're gonna be happy you got it. It just has a couple knots here and there. The one I'm getting from, the Selkirk one, has almost no corner splits or anything like that. They really do take care of this wood. I'm also going to use a couple cedar 2x4s as a cross member. That is completely optional. It just cleans up the aesthetics a little bit and adds some strength to the box. So wood wise, it's going to depend a lot on your area and where you're getting the wood, but you're probably talking between $200 and $300 in 2025. So if you're doing a very simple construction like this, then you really have to decide how the pieces are going to join. You could join them at a 45, which is kind of fragile. I wouldn't do that. In this case, I have the 4-footer overlapping and creating a flat front, and then the 8-footer getting tucked in behind that with the 4x4 in the middle, holding everything together. This is a very simple construction, somewhat rudimentary, but it's very easy since you have a 4-foot piece, and then on the long side you have an 8-foot piece, and everything sort of just matches up. Also, if your 8-foots are a tiny bit off, you know, it's a 16th off or whatever, then you don't really have to worry about it since that's really hidden well, and you just have to really want your 4-foots to be consistent. I'm using these GRK screws. Again, you could use any sort of nice screw as long as it's a higher quality one. If you could do stainless, that would be the best, but I have stainless here, and a couple years in, there's no streaking or anything like that. That's really great. These are just zinc coated ones. That should be fine. I didn't have any more stainless available. I am sinking these a little bit in. This is not going anywhere. This box filled with dirt, you don't have to sink this at all because you don't have to worry about it moving. It has hundreds of pounds of dirt in it and plants. But I like it this way because I can make these 4x4s a little bit longer. I can get my placement nailed down. It can be exactly where I want. And then I don't have to worry about the lengths of the 4x4s. I could tuck them in a little bit and have just a nice corner with nothing showing over there. I think it just makes it a little bit easier put together, and it means my measurements don't have to be perfect on the 4x4s. And plus, you're gonna have a little bit extra of the 4x4 anyway, so might as well tuck it in and give it a nice anchor there and a little bit more area to bite into. This is sort of mid construction. Got your posts, these 3 other posts. That's forming your first wall. Now I want to just kind of start building around it. And you could build both walls, or you could build it incrementally like this. It's pretty simple. You just have to make sure everything is nice and square. The amount of room between the two boxes is gonna be really important. I have 24 inches between the two. If you wanna get a wheelbarrow between the two, then you'll have to do a little bit more. Usually people recommend 3 to 4 feet. For me, I didn't want too much space. I wanted to be able to kneel down in that area, but I don't have to bring a wheelbarrow between these two. I could fill a 4x8 box from the ends, or I can go from that side or that side. One thing I'll note is that an 8-foot length of 5/4 inch wood is going to have some flex to it. That way you will get a little bit of unevenness here, just because all of this will have natural flex to it. That'll get better and it'll go away when you have the dirt in here, because it won't flex as much with some backstopping. But I will be putting a cross member that's just a cedar 2x4 in there. I'm doing that just because I found that a lot of people will put their foot on the middle of that area just as they're stepping into your garden or reaching in there. And it's pretty annoying since this is soft wood and you could kind of crack it a little bit. Also gets your box all dirty. And with that 2x4, you can't see it now. It's sunk down in the middle there. You could hide it under the dirt, or you could have it exposed. It just gives you some place to put your hand down and a little bit of stability when you're reaching over to grab something in the middle. Again, that's completely optional. Here's it with the 4 sides going up, putting those 2 panels in last. The last piece of the job is very sweet because everything will just fit together. All you have to do is pick this piece up and then put in that last 8-footer. Okay, so the box is constructed now. Everything's in pretty good shape. I used the bugle head screws this time. I think cedar is too soft for that, honestly. Last time I had used a wider head, and I even considered using a cabinet screw like those, but I would say go with a wider head screw, which this is so soft, but I think it'll be fine overall. Now I'm going to level everything. You see, my lawn, like yours, is not perfectly level, so I'm gonna have to dig this out a little bit. You have to dig it out along here. Other people say you should remove the grass or whatever from the inside. I don't really think that's necessary. I don't have any moles or any problems like that here, so there seems to be no reason to remove it. And also, I don't put down any nasty stuff on my lawn, so not a concern. I will create an edge here. I'm gonna go straight over with this mulch, just because I'd rather have the mulch here and no weeds or anything like that. And I don't want a lawnmower going through here. Time for leveling. This is pretty easy. You just gotta go through here, pull out some grass, and then the big thing is really just the corners here. So that is down 1 inch or 2. Once it's leveled, I'm gonna fill it, and then it'll look like this pretty soon. Eventually you'll get it pretty level. For me, this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It should be, pretty good. And this is not far off. So once it's level, then you're gonna be okay to start filling it. Okay, before you fill this, you wanna make sure it is square. So that means square on the corners, looking for a 90 there. That's not gonna be that far off since you have this here, but there is some flex. Then you want it square here, as in 24 inches or whatever your measurement is. Make sure that width is consistent from here and here. Then I have a straight edge here, so the deck is pretty straight. So I made sure it's 24 inch here, 24 inch here. So at that point you have 3 anchor points, call it. So it's in good shape, and now we're good to fill it. Okay, so the box is complete now. It's fully squared at the edges. It's lined up with the other box. I've done some digging around the grass. I'm going to get rid of that sod. I could probably throw it in the box, seems reasonable. I want to put down some gravel there or whatever, or just some clean dirt, then cover it with mulch. That'll create the nice surround there. That way I don't have to mow or whip around the box. And now I will start to fill the bed. This is tough, which it's really expensive. Like, what are you gonna fill it with? And you gotta decide whether you're gonna be eating what's in the box or not. That one, it was very expensive to fill. So I used all really nice clean dirt, either my own compost or stuff I had to buy. If you're gonna do a cutting garden like this one, then you could be a little bit looser about what you're gonna put in there. People fill it with compost and some logs, and you can get some just whatever type dirt from around your yard or from your local store. So
We'll fill it. It's gonna take me a day or so just rounding up all the dirt. Not just in labor, but just getting all the dirt is a real pain unless you have a way of getting a couple yards of dirt. Like it's probably, I don't know, 2-3 yards once it's fully compacted and all. Also, you wanna make sure you're not putting anything there that's gonna make the dirt too heavy. So you gotta make sure you're using some lighter stuff, some vermiculite or whatever. Okay, so here is the current status. The box is constructed, it's square. I've gone and filled it about 3/4 of the way and I ran out of material, but that's fine since it's the end of the season and I don't really need to fill it right now. I used a mixture of perlite, compost, mostly my own compost, but some bought compost. I did the sod from around here that I pulled out, was I needed some filler. I wouldn't really recommend that since you have to go and break it up with your shovel, which is tough work. I had some extra hay that was essentially part of the compost. A bunch of leaves. The leaves take a long time to go away, but that's fine. I'm not in any real rush here. And probably the top, I will try to do some nicer stuff just so it has a nice loamy top. But we're in pretty good shape now. Probably needs, you know, if I went with bags of dirt, it might need another 10-15 bags at least, because it's not really compacted. But I'm in no rush with the end of the season. And then you can see over here in the corner, I started to do my surround. I'm just doing a pine mulch surround. I'll have to pull out the rest of that grass to clean it up, but that I'll probably compost instead of putting in here. I'm tired of breaking up those clumps. Then I'll do a nice mulch surround. It'll join with this one, and then it looks great. It's pretty much how you build a cedar 4x8 raised bed. I'm really happy with this one, so I'm super excited to have another one. Probably do another one next year as well.